Hello guys, Project Green over here, and today I'm going to show you how I move the robotic stand with my Arduino sketch. Oh, I'm sorry, I left the menu by mistake. Alright, there you go. I'm at the now I'm going to move the shoulder. For now it's at the position 78 degrees because that's the center of the mechanism. I didn't bother changing it. I could if I had to, but it's not really worth it. Now I'm going to change it. As you can see, it moves. I'm moving it with the joystick, and I'm seeing the values and the motor I am moving in the screen of the LCD. Now I'm going to push down on the joystick, go to the hand motor, and I'm going to move the ultrasonic distance sensor motor, as you can see. Now the mechanism I made for the robotic stand was, the goal was to keep the ultrasonic distance sensor as close to the center of the both axis movement as possible, as to not interfere with measurements. There you go, we can move the shoulder around. And if I want, I can even press the main menu button, which I'm going to do right now, and the robotic stand will go back to its center position. So 1, 2, 3. There you go. And it goes back to the center. And then I just have to go back into the menu again, something I can change later. And I can go back to changing. There you go. Changing the positions of the motors. There you go. See? Very easy. The speed can be, it can be quicker if you want. All you have to do is move the delay number. Change the delay number. So this is the robotic stand included in my multitask Arduino project. So now let's take a look at the sketch. So now that you've seen how the display looks when I'm moving the robotic stand's servo motors, let's see how the sketch looks. And I start by including the servo library, something you have to do when you're dealing with servo motors. I take the necessary steps that you usually take, like creating the object and attaching the pin. I'm sorry, I create the object up over here. As you can see, servo shoulder and servo hand, both objects. And then I attach them to their pins over here, as you can see. And then where I work with them is down, you already know how the cases work, the switch from the menu. Let me just show you down here where I have it. Here you go, case number 10. I have 11 menus over here because 0 also counts. So I have 11, and this is the condition that calls the menu and the function of the robotic stand. Here you see the robotic stand function, and that is way down over here. Here you go, the robotic stand function. Now I read the analog inputs both on the Y and the X axis. On the Y axis, I use the reading to, if it is above 700 or below 300, to move the motor option. Now, just like I do before in other cases, if Y is above 700, the motor option is 0, which corresponds to the shoulder. If the joystick Y axle is below 300, then the motor option will be selected 1, which corresponds to the hand motor, servo motor. The X axis of the joystick serves to increment or decrement the position of the servos, and that is by increment or decrementing the values on the array, the motor position array, which is up here. Let me show it to you. That it holds 2 numbers, which are, one number corresponds to the position of the hand, the other to the position of the shoulder. Now where is that? Over here. The motor position array holds 2 numbers. The index 0 is the shoulder motor and index 1 is the hand motor. Now let's go back down. So with this if condition, I certify that the values do not exceed 180 or 100. And then I write onto the LCD screen, I indicate the motor that I'm working with, and I indicate the value of the angle that it is positioned in. And we do that with these two blocks. So if it's motor 0, which is a shoulder, it'll do that if condition. If it's 1, it'll do this one. Which is basically the same thing. And then if I am pressing the main button, I return the motors to the center position and change the value in the array, going back to standby position. And then I write those values onto the motors. And this is a sketch for the robotic stand. Now, as you can see, the project I previously made of the robotic stand, I think it was months ago, I saved it, and it can now be proven very practical. I can use this for various types of measurements. I could just have the platform stood still and just move the sensor into the direction I want, up or down, and take measurements at will. And when you're talking about doing this with the ultrasonic distance sensor, you can do it with any type of sensor. I could have put in here a laser and aim to any point that I wanted. Whatever. There's a lot of things you could have done with this. And I chose to put the ultrasonic distance sensor just to show how easy it is to, with just two buttons, one button and a joystick, 2 controllers, and the amount of tasks that you can actually control if you have everything organized. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it was helpful, and I'll see you on the next video.